The government is rolling out another stimulus package. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian Heise here and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. I have my morning stein of coffee and I thought we'd have a look at these articles about the Australian government rolling out another stimulus package. Now before we go through them, I'll just draw your attention to a website, the Australian Debt Clock. And we can see, what's our credit? That's million, billion, trillion, $7.2 trillion. Total government debt, 1.1 trillion. Total household debt, 2.6 trillion. I'm reading that right? Million, billion, trillion, yes. Private credit, $4.5 trillion. Look at it growing up. Now let's just keep this government debt in mind when they're talking about stimulus spending, guys. Because, here we go, government debt. Total government debt, national government, state and local. I mean, there you go. Look at that. From 2007 to now. And you know what happened just around 2007? The GFC. And part of the GFC was a significant portion of stimulus spending. The building education revolution. Now, if anyone who has worked in the industry, if you haven't worked in the industry, you're not familiar with how dodgy it was run. There were cases where buildings would be demolished that were perfectly fine and replaced with new buildings. It's a perfect example of the broken window fallacy. And if we look, let's look, you know, all that money, all that debt that our country's gone into. I'm just trying to find a button here to show you. Education. I mean, there you go. Look at that, 2006. Where's it headed? It's made no difference. And over that same period, our population has increased, so Australia has been actually growing slower per capita over that time. The economy's been depressed. So when they're talking about stimulus spending, one way or another, we're going to pay for it. Guys, it's not free money. Money doesn't come out of the air. Even if they print the bloody money, it decreases the purchasing power of what we have. Inflation is just another tax. People don't get this. They don't understand. If they did understand, they wouldn't be accepting all of these things. Because the thing is, the politicians who are promising this, who are giving this away to kind of stimulate the economy or to keep it on life support, they're going to be dead by the time this gets paid, if it ever does. They're not going to have to encounter the ramifications of this. Most of us won't have to. It'll be our children or our children's children. And that's going to be generations of people who are going to have to struggle to pay off this debt, and who are going to have to do it through taxes or through other nefarious government means, where they're taking your wealth to prop up businesses, which, frankly, some of them don't deserve to be propped up. I mean, is anyone here in favour of supporting, Qantas or even Virgin, particularly Qantas with their share buyback recently? And what's going to happen? These businesses, they may have to shut down, they may have to cut back staff, they may have to sell off their assets. But when good times return, new players will come in, they'll see the opportunity in the market to provide a service, and then they will rise again. That's what happens. That is what happens, guys. But, I mean, this is just getting ludicrous how much, as a share of our GDP, the government is pumping into this stimulus. And I honestly think most people don't realize that this is all our future taxes that they're spending now that we're going to have to pay back. This isn't free money. A lot of people don't seem to appreciate that government debt is all our debt. It's the debt of every citizen of the civilization. So let's have a look. The federal government's second stimulus package offers $66 billion worth of measures for illness-hit economy. Small businesses will be given up to $100,000 to keep their staff employed during the illness crisis and have their loans guaranteed. Their loans guaranteed by the Commonwealth as part of the Morrison government's second economic stimulus package. Now, the government guaranteeing business loans, it seems like they're, are they doing a favour for the businesses, or are they doing a favour for the banks? Prime Minister Scott Morrison is set to unveil the $66 billion worth of measures today, including relief for retirees and a new wage or safety net for workers who lose their job. There is a lot of pain coming, but we're going to cushion the blow as best we can, Mr. Morrison said. See, this is the thing. I would have no issue for this if our civilization were not in such a drastic debt. If the government debt wasn't so high. There's a lot of pain coming. Yeah, we're going to cushion the blow. Not-for-profits and small businesses will receive a tax-free cash payment of up to $100,000 with a minimum payout of $20,000 for eligible companies. The payments will be delivered by the tax office as a credit on an activity statement from late April. Well, there you go. There you go. I don't think we'll get one. Not with our business. We don't have any employees. You know, there you go. Hire someone for a week just to get the credits, but it won't work. It builds on the measures introduced in the first $17.6 billion economic stimulus package announced more than a week ago. With companies reluctant to borrow, the Commonwealth is also offering to guarantee unsecured loans of up to $250,000 for a term of up to 3 years. They really want us to get into more debt. They want these businesses to get into more debt. Bloody hell. This is crazy. What happens when government guarantees loans? Look at the education system in the United States. Look at what's happening there in the university system. It's just become incredibly unaffordable. It's been an utter disaster. And I thought we had, you know, a more conservative government, less likely to hand out money. See, this is where people are saying there's a difference between the two. It is so slight between Labour and Liberal right now. It's hardly anything. Hardly anything at all. You know? Designed to help businesses and workers ride out the economic calamity caused by the illness, Mr. Morrison has likened these economic measures to a bridge. We want to help businesses keep going as best they can, or pause instead of falling apart, Mr. Morrison said. We want to ensure that when this crisis has passed, Australia can bounce back. And then we'll have this additional burden to our government debt. And that's not even counting the QE that's coming from the Reserve Bank. That's going to chip away at our purchasing powers, or the increase to the repurchasing market, the repo market, as well that they're doing. And then the fact you add to that the dollar is crashing. We'll have a look. I'll bring up the website now, Trading Economics, and we'll see, you know, what's the dollar at now? Forex, we're at 58 cents US. Oh, we're 1 cent, almost 1 cent higher than New Zealand. That's great. Remember when we were 20 cents higher than the New Zealand dollar? Taking into account the first round of stimulus, the measures announced by the Reserve Bank this week, the government said the total economic assistance package was worth $189 billion, or equivalent to 9.7% of Australia's gross domestic product. 9.7% of our GDP, $189 billion. Now let's bring up this chart here from the OEC, so we can just compare it to some other industries. First, we'll look at tourism. So this is 189 billion. That's 3 times the entire tourist industry in Australia. 3 times. Let's have a look. Our iron ore exports are 48.2 billion. Well, it's almost 4 times that, isn't it? No, more than 4 times. Coal, 47 billion. Bigger than coal. So it's iron ore and coal combined. Well, actually, all of our exports are $243 billion. So it's all... it's getting close. Come on, ScoMo, you can do it. It's more than our petroleum gas exports, more than our gold exports. Let's have a look here at the metals. It's more than all of the mineral exports of our nation, $131 billion. So we'll go minerals. We'll hide all of these other ones. Isolate precious metals. You know, it's more than our precious metals, guys. It's nearly equal to all of the imports of our civilization. So, this is going to have a drastic impact. This isn't free money. Do people get that? Do they get that? The financial impact is so severe and uncertain that this second package is unlikely to be the last. So they're talking about more. They're talking about more. So how do you prepare for this? What do you all think about this, guys? Do you think it's a good thing? Do you think people realize the actual implications of this? Let me know your opinions in the comments, everyone. On Saturday, Shadow Health Minister Chris Bowen repeated Labor's calls for a permanent increase in the New Start allowance or unemployment benefit to help Australians who find themselves without a job. It's similar to the health challenge facing the country. If in doubt, do more, he said. And we have said consistently what the government's done so far in health and the economy is good, but not good enough. Well, there you go. 9.7% of our GDP is now being pumped out in stimulus in one way or another. What do you reckon that'll do to confidence? Do you think any businesses... I guess if you're guaranteed, if the government is guaranteeing a loan, why wouldn't you as a small business borrow $250,000 and, I don't know, let's say, put it all in gold or in silver? Why not? Government's going to guarantee it. Oh, I haven't brought it up. Hang on. You know, gold at $14.97. Silver at $12.60. That's what a lot of people are going in to hedge against, well, the fall in the Australian dollar and potential significant inflation. Why would... I still don't understand. God, maybe I'm just smart enough. I don't get it. I don't understand why businesses will borrow now to invest when the economy is grinding to a halt. Why would any small person in a restaurant borrow now to keep it going? There's someone left a comment just before. I was just checking it. You know, his friend is a chef. All casuals have lost their job indefinitely. Do you think they would borrow money, indebt the business to keep people on? That's insane. Would you expect, as a worker, would you expect your boss to do that? No, you wouldn't. Not unless you're psychotic. So, can someone explain to me in the comments how this is going to work? Because is it just going to prop up another bubble? I know. We just need to get more housing. That's it. Build more housing. Prop up that housing bubble. Maybe I'm getting too cynical for all of this, guys. I've been reading too much stuff. Anyway, thank you all for watching. Let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments. Please like, share, and subscribe. If you're a fan of the channel, there are a few ways you can help support us. You can join the channel here on YouTube or on Patreon for a small monthly fee. You can use our affiliate links at Amazon or eBay for your consumer purchases, or Kucoin and Independent Reserve for the crypto traders out there. We also have merch we sell from the HeiseSays website, or from Teespring, and PayPal if you want to contribute that way. Thank you all very much. Have a great weekend, and stay healthy. Take care.